Hello everybody, I am Crystal Clear 101. Welcome back to my channel. We have another Star Wars Hot Wheels vehicle review. And this time it is the X-Wing Red 5. Now this is part of Wave 2. This is released in mid-2015. And the suggested retail at Walmart is $3.92. Now, before I go over the packaging, first off, Hot Wheels logo, Star Wars logo. This is one that there's actually a variation of. There's Red 5, which is this one, and there's Red 3. Of course, this is supposed to be Luke Skywalker's X-Wing, but the only difference physically between Red 5 and Red 3 is, when I go over it, Red 5 has the wings in attack position, whereas Red 3 has the wings closed. But cool shot of Red 5 in flight, along with saying X-Wing Fighter, Red 5, includes Flight Navigator. And of course shows Red 5 on the Flight Navigator, along with other vehicles available for Wave 2. Alright, now with the packaging shown, let's open up Red 5. And here's a better look at Luke Skywalker's X-Wing, Red 5. Now, the following segment, I am kind of going to do a 360 of the vehicle, but I'm also going to provide some rather interesting information about the X-Wing itself. And the following information is courtesy of Wikipedia. The Incom T-65 X-Wing is the fighter that killed the Death Star. An almost perfect balance of speed, maneuverability, and defensive shielding made it the fighter of choice for Rogue Squadron. The X-Wing was originally designed by Incom Corporation for the Empire by Vors Vohorian. It was directly descended from the old Z-95 Headhunter, built by Incom and Subpro, with lessons learned from the ARC-170 Starfighter of the Clone Wars. After the Galactic Empire planned to nationalize the Incom Corporation, the entire engineering team defected to the Rebel Alliance with the prototypes hidden on Frezia. After 4 prototypes were extracted from Frezia during the Battle of Frezia, it first encountered Imperial forces in the Battle of Turkana. Many more of the ships were liberated from an Incom assembly facility prior to the Battle of Yavin. The Rebel Alliance soon began building its own X-Wings in clandestine dry docks and factories scattered throughout the Outer Rim territories. Though decentralized production and the scarcity of various high-grade alloys used in the X-Wing's construction meant that squadrons sometimes had to ensure agonizing delays before new fighters arrived. Besides its usage by the Rebel Alliance, a Starfighter volunteer squadron by the name of the Lightspeed Panthers utilized several customized T-65 X-Wing starfighters against several TIE/LN starfighters during the Fei-Hu campaign, and demonstrated the fighter's superiority by taking down 286 TIEs within 9 months, while only losing 4 of their own X-Wings. This eventually led to the Empire's development of the TIE Interceptor, and later the TIE Hunters, a direct counter to the X-Wing that possessed S-foils, proton torpedo launchers, and ion cannons. The X-Wing was continually updated throughout its design lifetime. The T-65B was the primary X-Wing fighter used by the Rebellion in the Galactic Civil War. The B model is the version Luke Skywalker used at the first Death Star during the Battle of Yavin. There was also the enhanced T-65C-A2, developed by the Alliance. These versions were rare during the Galactic Civil War due to limited production capabilities. The T-65AC-4 was another variant type produced during the New Republic. Its engines allowed it to fly at speeds comparable to an A-Wing. One notable design, the T-65D-A1, replaced the astromech droid with an internal computer core for the hyperdrive jump calculations, but was considered a failure, partially due to ease of sabotage. The TX-65 was the X-Wing trainer variant. Famous uses included the Battle of Yavin, where an X-Wing piloted by Luke Skywalker destroyed the Empire's first Death Star, although nearly all the other X-Wings that participated in the battle were destroyed. An X-Wing piloted by Wedge Antilles also helped destroy the second Death Star's reactor at the Battle of Endor. in concert with the Millennium Falcon, starting off a chain reaction that completely destroyed the battle station. Despite the legendary combat prowess of the X-Wing, however, 70% of X-Wing sorties conducted throughout the Galactic Civil War were reconnaissance missions, and Wing commanders were taught to attack in strength, quote, only when the results will be particularly successful, end quote. And now that we got our history lesson for the X-Wing out of the way, let's go ahead and look at the actual version released by Hot Wheels. Now, first off, here's a little flight navigator. Now, just like with the Y-Wing, it can be used as a stand to display the model itself. Yes, I am considering this a model. Or you can slip it on your finger, you know, like it's maneuvering, you know, whatever. But, let's take a look at the actual X-Wing itself. First off, the fuselage, the very base of the wings where the thrusters are. These are all die-cast. Now, the outer parts of the wings, like right out here, are a kind of a ABS plastic. It's a real soft and flexible plastic. But the overall detail on this is actually really nice. To me, this looks like an X-Wing. Whether it be from the front, from the back. I mean, overall, from all angles, this looks like an X-Wing. But, again, it's supposed to be based on Red 5. There is another X-Wing supposed to be based on Red 3. Now, I don't have a Red 3 as of this video. But the only physical difference I can tell you between Red 5 and the Red 3 is that the Red 5 has the S-foils in attack position, whereas the Red 3 has the wings closed, has the S-foils closed. But overall, this is rather nice when you actually hold the X-Wing by itself. This does actually have a fair bit of weight. It does have a little bit of heft to it. So there is a good amount of die-cast that is in the fuselage itself. Now, before I forget, from the tip of the nose to the very back of the thrusters, this measures at about 3 inches long. And from wingtip to wingtip, I believe it's about 2.5 inches. Now, if I was to actually put a scale with this, considering that the fuselage itself measures 12.5 meters long, or roughly about 41 feet. I'd probably put this at about a 1 to 144 scale. Now, obviously, the other ships in the series are not going to be to the same scale as... I mean, honestly, the Slave One is about the size of this right here, and it's a much bigger ship than the X-Wing. Same for the Millennium Falcon. The Millennium Falcon dwarfs this, and it's the same size as this. But overall, what are my personal thoughts on the Red 5? I mean, it's a very nice representation, not just of Red 5, but of the T-65 X-Wing in general. Especially with the S-foils in attack position. This looks good. The markings overall are good. Overall, it just looks good. I mean, as far as a little display piece, a little mini model, this looks good. Now, is it worth the $3.99 it retails for? In my opinion, absolutely. This looks good. And overall, it's just a great little display piece. But if you can find it, do pick it up. It is actually rather nice. But this will wrap up my review on the Hot Wheels Star Wars Luke Skywalker's T-65 X-Wing Red 5. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.